Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Women who carry their babies everywhere, but these aren't their children. They're lifelike dolls.
It's in the process of being reborn.
Right.
You think you're too old to play with dolls? That's just creepy to me.
The difference between your hobby and an obsession.
This thing's not gonna wet on me, is it?
Plus, she hasn't cut her hair since she was 13 years old.
Are you ready? I'm backstage watching our special correspondent, comedian and author Stephanie Wild-Taylor, as she shows some of our audience a doll that is so lifelike, people mistake it for a real baby. It's part of a new craze called reborning, where women say they obsess over infant dolls that look like human babies. They dress them, shop for them, take them out. Our show today is about obsessions and how they affect our lives. Reborning is just one of the obsessions we're going to talk about today. Sometimes otherwise rational people can get completely obsessed with dolls, dogs, people, that it totally takes over their life. Maybe they're focused on appearance, weight, money, revenge. Obsession is the front end of OCD. Think about that. So today we're answering the question, when does habit, passion, or hobby cross the line and start getting in the way? Start making your list. You may learn something about you today.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Some say it's a hard life, but it's hard for us all. Always hold on.
In 10, 9,
Always be strong. Reach out.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Stand by, camera 6. Go, Dr. Phil.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, what is an obsession? Is it harmless, or does it dominate your life? Now, how is it different from, say, a passion or a habit or even what we call a quirk? Well, today we're going to get to the bottom of what they are, what they aren't, why we have them, and what purpose they serve. Now, some of y'all thought this baby was real, right? Who saw the baby? Did you think it was real? Because we had you on camera talking to it. We had you talking to the baby.
A little bit.
A little bit. I mean, y'all, they really are real looking, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's what some people say their obsessions are.
I'm obsessed with playing video games. If I go away, I start getting withdrawals and I want to click the mouse buttons even though I don't have a mouse in my hand.
My obsession is cleaning house.
It would be my husband. I just can't be without him a day.
I'm really obsessed with going to those wonderful Indian casinos.
I cannot go a day, nor probably even an hour, without playing a game of Spider Solitaire.
I'm obsessed with being a germaphobe, and I prefer not to have someone cough or sneeze in my vicinity. When people walk by, I'll whoosh my hand, wave my hand to just try to spread it away.
He created his own language for it. It's called wusa, and he goes wusa, he does this weird thing.
All right, the term obsession is kind of a wastebasket term, kind of like addiction and other things that get overused and people just don't really know what they are because they just don't understand it. Here's some of what the audience thought obsession meant. First, they said they thought it was a conscious preoccupation with ideas that interfere with thought or quirks. Now, that one is dead on, okay? So that's my definition. Let me define quirks for you. A peculiar habit or mannerism, some aspect of your personality. You can have somebody with a quirk, you guys kind of quirky, but otherwise they do okay. Habits are behavior patterns that are acquired by frequent repetition. You just do something over and over. Passion is a strong desire or devotion to something or someone. Now, my first guest today is 30-year-old Nona. She says that she is definitely obsessed with her hair. Now, why would we have to pick that? Okay? She says her obsession started when she was just 13 years old. Take a look.
When I was growing up, my hair was very long. It was always brushed into beautiful ponytails or braids. When I was 8, I went into the salon for a trim. The lady was specifically told to trim my hair. I went with my 2 sisters. The lady asked me, "How do you want your hair cut?" I said, "Like my sister." She looks at my sister Cindy, grabs my ponytail, and cuts it off. That haircut affected everything about my life. I went from being a pretty little girl to a little boy. One year for Halloween, my brother and I decided to swap costumes. I was a cheerleader and he was a football player. I wore his football jersey to school and nobody realized that it was me. They thought I was my brother.
Okay, so here's the deal. Anona won't ever step foot into a salon. She says, no, not happening. She refuses to get her hair cut or colored. She says her hair is definitely her security blanket. Take a look.
If I'm feeling insecure about my body, I can always take my hair and put it in front, and they can't see any of my imperfections. My long hair is me. I am the girl with the long hair. That's my identity. If I don't have the long hair, what's going to be pretty about me?
Okay, so you're obsessed with this hair, right?
Dr. Phil, I'm so obsessed with my hair. Let me show you what I have.
All right, let's see this. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, wow.
This is my hair, Dr. Phil.
All right, so why do you think it's such a security blanket for you? What's the deal?
When I was younger and I walked around with a mushroom on my head and looking like a boy.
A mushroom?
A mushroom,
because you got
Dr. Phil.
whacked off.
Yes.
So you look like a boy?
I looked like a boy. I acted like a boy. Everything about me.
That's the mushroom?
Yes, and that's tame.
The truth is that obsessions do serve a purpose. And it gives people this idea that they are in control. It's like if I obsess about, germs on a doorknob, and so I clean the doorknobs all the time, I feel like I'm in control of this. And if you obsess about your hair, then you have control over that. Nobody can do it, so it gives you a sense of being in control, because that was taken away from you once, right?
Yes, it was. My mom would not let me grow my hair out once it was short. She saw how easy it was to take care of. She said it wasn't until I'd be old enough to take care of it myself that I could grow it back out.
It's been 17 years since Anona cut her hair, and she says she is ready. She says she is ready for a big change. Now, I don't cut hair or know a thing about wardrobe, as you can see. I mean, Robin dresses me like a Ken doll. I'm the poster boy for adult garanimals. Everything matches when I travel. So I had to ask for some help. VH1 has a new reality show called Glam God, where they search for the next great celebrity stylist. Please welcome the host of the show, actress Vivica A. Fox, and celebrity stylist Philip Block. Hey guys, how are you? So good to see you. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well,
Philip Block.
So, Vivica, what do you think here?
Oh, baby, you need some style gods to come in and rescue you, girlfriend.
Now, you got some scissors here? Okay. So what we have here are some scissors. And what all of my producers want me to do is make the first cut.
I trust him.
Now she's nervous. I know.
Like, make the first cut. Like, no.
Whoa, we gotta go down.
Like maybe here or here.
Let's say like right about in there.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I don't cut hair. And I'm not going to cut your hair. But if you want to make a first cut, you can. Now, that's up to you.
Definitely, I'm ready.
That's up to you. I'm not, listen, you can say no. You can go sit in the audience. We can go on with the rest of the show. You don't have to do this. But if you want to do it, you need to start this, because we're not going to do it to you.
All right. There you go. Get more. We got more for you.
I don't know. What do you think? I get me a weave going here or something?
Baby, because she got plenty of hair to create a great weave, as a matter of fact.
You could do us all out here. Okay. Well, here's the deal. Vivica and Philip are going to take Anona backstage, see what they can get going back there, see if she can buddy up to your hairstylist, and then we're going to check with them later in the show and see what magic these guys work on this beautiful lady here. All right, you guys can go off that way. We'll let you go to work. All right.
Woo! You're gonna look bad. It's gonna look great.
Yeah.
It's gonna look great.
No, I'm not about to cut somebody's hair. I'm hair challenged enough without doing that. All right, up next, move over Beanie Babies. There's a new craze in town called reborning. Women who take plain-looking dolls and turn them into lifelike babies. These things cost thousands of dollars. Is it an obsession or a hobby? We're going to find out when we come back. Well, today we're talking about how normal, rational people, and by that I mean people that, they have jobs, they have lives, they do good things, and then they get caught up in their devotion for animals or inanimate objects that you have to wonder if it's hobby or if it's crossed over to obsession. Now, we heard about a group of women with an unusual interest in collecting and creating dolls so incredibly lifelike that they're called reborns. Now, this season, we're having some special correspondents report from the field. This was a perfect story to send comedian Stephanie Wilder-Taylor to the suburbs. She's the author of Sippy Cups Are Not for Chardonnay and Other Things I Learned as a New Mom. Take a look.
So what is it about reborning that people get obsessed with?
They look like real children.
This has taken doll collecting
to a whole new level.
In a completely different direction,
Yes.
and become this craze that people can't get enough of these babies that look like babies.
Right, and some
So is
people
that's
make
what
them to look like they're children.
Do you think that's a little weird?
I think it could be, if you don't have control.
But you have control.
Yeah.
Okay, this one scares me. It's just
Yes.
looking, staring at me.
Go to sleep.
That's Brielle. She's hefty. Now this is
Vinny.
Hey, Vinny.
That little one's name is Ryan. And the reason that I was attracted to him was because he reminds me so much of my grandson.
A funny story about these three guys right here, what we call them, the three Jesuses. The happy Jesus, sleeping Jesus, not sure he wants to be here Jesus.
That one looks like he has a little mascara on.
We just finished our basement, and in the process of finishing the basement, we decided to put in like a work studio. So you're actually at the christening.
So this is a room that you created just for the dolls?
This area here is. These are actual kits.
Oh, God. Okay, do you see anything wrong with this picture? That looks like a horror movie.
These have not been painted, they have no eyes, they have nothing. This guy's getting his body today. He hasn't had a body for a long time.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is about keeping it real. That's just creepy to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just creepy to me. I'm not saying it's sick or anything, but just to me, it's creepy.
It was creepy to me. I mean, when I first went there, I was concerned just from the name alone. I mean, Reborners. That sounds like a cult.
Yeah.
My friends were concerned.
Doesn't sound right.
No.
Doesn't sound right. And the fact is, there's nothing untoward going on here or anything. These are doll collectors. They just really get into it. But I don't know. It just seems kind of odd to me.
Well, to be honest, I talked with Catherine. She's such a nice person, and she seems really down to earth. But then you go into her house, and she has 2 rooms entirely devoted just for the dolls. One is the feminine room, and one is the masculine room. And there's like 20 real-life looking dolls in each room, just kind of staring at you. Just kind of looking around.
Yeah, well, I guess it just wouldn't be right to keep boys and girls together.
Apparently
so
not. But these are full-on nurseries for babies, and there's not a baby in her house.
Well, Catherine says that she is addicted to reborns. Now, she hosts a party with friends who also collect and create reborners. They call it Doll Day.
I love her. Isn't she cute? She's precious. Right, Brielle? She's heavy, I know. She weighs about 7 pounds. 12.
This is Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
She is with the Dr. Phil show. He couldn't join us, so she is to find out exactly what we do today.
Well, good. Here, have one.
Have you ever known anybody to formula feed their newborn?
No.
Or reborn?
No. But
Because breast is best.
Right. True.
Now, who's this?
This is Michael.
And so this is, and his hair, little Donald Trump.
style. So this one went into the Cracker Barrel, and she got quite a response, actually. So, but she was cheap. She didn't eat anything.
So the reborning is what you do to the baby. So this right now is just a doll.
It's in the process of being reborn.
Right. Sometimes when you're just goofing around, like, do you rock them and sing to them? And
Sure, I think it's a natural reaction for a woman when she's holding a baby in her arms to rock. I find myself doing that. That doesn't make me psychotic. I yearn for the days when my children were younger because I enjoyed being a mother so much, and I enjoyed watching them and the little expressions in their faces. Of course, you miss those days and you want to recapture those days.
Okay. So this is
one of them.
This is one of them. Does it have a name?
It has a name. It was given by the artist Trevor. I didn't have a problem with that name, so I left it that name.
Okay. When you move its arm from underneath, it makes it
looks sort of
look like it's kind of real.
Yes. I think the sleeping ones look more real anyways. I think the ones that, we discussed this the other day,
Yes.
the ones that don't blink can get a little eerie. So I sort of prefer them sleeping myself because I think it just looks like a child at peace, sleeping.
But Catherine told me that some people actually want their eyes open because if I'm going to pay that much money for a doll, I want that thing looking at me.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
But so do you rock the baby? Like your friend was saying, I'm not psychotic, but I rock.
No. Actually, it's funny. I see it more as an art form. I mean, because these things start out so plain. It's like when you saw the heads, the gruesome little heads and bodies that were in the shells. I think it's an art form, I really do. And the reason I brought this one is because this is not one I personally made. I have great respect for the woman who did make this. That's one I did make. And mine's more of a, I think more of a passion than really an obsession, to be honest. I have 2 rooms, but they also started out as my grandchildren's nurseries.
Yeah.
So it was real convenient when I made another room for them, a playroom, to go, oh, I have a feminine room and a masculine room, so I'll put boy dolls in one room and girl dolls in another room.
Do you think you're too old to play with dolls?
Yeah, probably.
We'll be right back. Well, you know what some people would say, and I mean it's true of people that become really engaged with like pets or dolls or whatever, is that it's just really low demand.
Right.
You don't have to really do anything. You don't have to engage. You don't have to interact. And so it's a regressive sort of thing to a really low demand relationship, so you don't have to engage in a healthy relationship. But the truth is, you have friends and family, and you're engaged at every level, right? Because I have to tell you, as I see this, I think some people can get over-involved in this kind of stuff. You don't strike me that way at all. This, to me, and this is what we were talking about before, the difference between an obsession and a hobby. Now, when we were talking to you, you used the word obsessed to describe yourself, but I think you used it in kind of a lay term, like you're really into them.
I'm
That
over
sounds to
top
me
on
like-
everything, really.
But that sounds to me like a hobby.
It is a hobby.
Like a passion, because for something to be an obsession, that means that it involuntarily crowds into your consciousness, pushes other things out of the way, and you can't think, you can't act, you can't do things. That's what obsession is. You see that in obsessive compulsives, where they have to wash their hands all the time for a sense of control. And so they can't go fix dinner because they're busy washing their hands. They can't go to the movie with their friends because they're busy washing their hands. It's so intrusive. That doesn't seem at all what's going on with you. This seems like a habit.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby and a passion. And I have to tell you, the responses you get, when I purchase a doll, occasionally you shouldn't leave, I mean, we don't know yet, but you shouldn't leave them in sunlight for any length of time. And if I have one, I've actually had an incident where I came to my car and this couple were getting ready to call the police because they thought I left a sleeping baby in my car.
Yeah, can I see the?
Sure.
See
And
the
so
baby?
now I have to, if I ever have one I've purchased or I'm taking to someone to deliver, I have to take it in with me because I can't afford to have the windows fixed on my car.
Wow, that is real looking when you look at it. And Actually, that's the way I held our babies, too. I mean, I don't know. Their heads would bob all around and stuff. Okay, but and it's like the right weight and everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, really, a lot of thought goes into this. I mean, people, you know, they figure the balance of the weight and they look at the skin texture and, you know, we were showing her the other day. They looked really.
Some of them look very real, but the creepy. I got to tell you, the creepy thing is, and I think you would agree with me. When their eyes are closed and they're just laying in a cradle,
sure,
they look dead.
Sure.
I mean, they don't. Once you kind of get over the momentary, it looks real, it's like a house full of dead babies. Not to be really morbid, but I mean, doesn't that sort of
doll
lose its
collecting's been
appeal?
going on for years and years and years. No. That's the beauty of these. They're really low maintenance in the long run.
Well, how much have you spent on these things, roughly?
Are you talking dolls in general or reborns?
This is not an essay question.
Well, I mean, there's a difference.
No, I mean, how much have you put into this hobby?
Okay, but am I going to be on your segment for divorcees when I convey this?
Maybe, but there won't be a custody fight.
I'm kidding. No, true. No, probably between the paints, you know, the paint, the hair that's really not too inexpensive, but you don't use a lot, and...
Aren't we talking 50 grand here?
No.
Catherine.
No.
You told me.
Between...
50 grand.
No. You need to show the whole thing.
Don't
I said
lie.
between 40 to 50,000 total on dolls in the last 14 years.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. It's for 40, 50 grand.
For dolls, not this particular kind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, no. Well,
But that's including antique cradles and cribs and high chairs and...
She puts diapers on the babies.
Oh, sure. They fill the clothes out.
This is really a hobby.
Right.
For y'all, and you get joy out of it.
Right.
And it doesn't interfere with your life. It doesn't intrude on anything, yeah.
I mean, I sat with all of them. They're very nice, normal women. But to me, it did seem like when you told me that when you go to a doll show and you see a doll that's, you know, a couple of grand and you kind of make like a soul connection with it because it looks slightly to the left of another one that you have and you just can't, you want to leave, but you have to go back and get it. It's like almost like you're adopting a baby.
I said you would go out and you'll pick up a doll and you'll go, no, I don't need that. And then you might come back and go, why does that doll remind me of something? And then you might gravitate toward it because you go, oh my golly, that reminds me of a little boy I had to babysit.
Okay, I vote hobby on this. Y'all vote hobby or if you say hobby, raise your hand. If you say obsession, raise your hand. A few of you think, I think it's a hobby.
Thank you.
And I hope you continue to enjoy it. It looks fun to me. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but if it's what lights you up, light it up. All right, next, are you worried that your child might have an obsession? I'm talking about your kids here. I'm going to tell you how to recognize one developing in children. We're going to meet a mom who says she doesn't understand why her 7-year-old daughter has to live, breathe, and sing Elvis. 7 years old. We'll be right back. Talking about obsessions today, and it's really important to recognize if you do have an obsession. Is it something that's intrusive to you, crowds out other things in your life, and interferes with what you would normally be doing? Now, the question, though, is what happens when you notice your child is developing a really strong interest in something? Now, my next guest, Heather, says her 7-year-old daughter, Kaylee, is obsessed with a celebrity who has been dead for 31 years, Elvis Presley.
This is my daughter, Kaylee. She's had a strange obsession with Elvis since she was 2 years old. This is Kaylee in what we call the Elvis room. As you can see, we've got a lot of her Elvis stuff that she has, and it goes all the way around her room. And when we started running out of room on her walls, we started going to the ceiling.
This is my favorite thing in my Elvis collection. There's records all over my walls. I got a picture with Elvis, my Elvis doll, Elvis glasses, cards, cup, pen, postcard. I have an Elvis plate, everything that you can almost think of. Greatest thing about Elvis is he's handsome.
And trust me, Dr. Phil, with her massive collection, Kaylee never tires of Elvis. It's a non-stop Elvis parade. Dr. Phil, can you please tell me if this is normal?
Okay, so what do you think?
I think she could be into worse things, but it's been going on since she was 2, and most kids, you know, they'll get into something and they'll get out of it, and, you know, it'll come as a phase. She's done this since she was 2, and it's not ending yet.
Is it here's the question I always ask people. Sometimes I get lots of questions where they'll say, Dr. Phil, is this normal? Or actually, I get the question a lot, Dr. Phil, is he normal? And the answer to that question is something is normal if it doesn't interfere with your other functioning. I mean, if you're able to think, feel, act, deal with your life without interference, then, that's kind of a broad definition, but then what you're doing is probably okay. If it's starting to interfere in some way, and we're talking here about your daughter, if it was interfering with schoolwork, friends with people, young girls or boys her own age, exercise, all the things that you expect a kid at that age to be doing, then I'd say it's crossed the line to abnormal. Is this interfering?
No, she is a straight A student. She's never made anything below an A. She is very interactive. She plays ball in the summertime. She has life, but now when it comes to big events, scheduling vacations, birthday parties, it's got to be Elvis. We're going to Tupelo or we're going to Graceland, it has to wrap around Elvis. It has to.
Well, from the sound of your accent, that's probably not far from your house, is it?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, it takes one to know one, right?
Yes.
We're from the South. But do people tease her about this?
Kids at school tease her. Her kindergarten year, we went backpack shopping. We went to a place in Tennessee, it's a big mall, and she found an Elvis backpack. She had to have it. She didn't have one, so I got it for her.
All right. So what's your question for me?
Is this normal? Is it normal that a child as young as she is can be so much in love with something like Elvis?
It's unusual.
Right.
But that's not abnormal. Look, kids look for something to define themselves. They look for something to identify with, something to worship, look up to, live vicariously through, kind of get devoted to in some way. And that's why you have dolls like, what are these American Girl dolls and all of these different things that they get focused on. For her, it turns out to be Elvis. And it's not something that you want to rip away from her. It's not something that you want to punish her for or whatever. But you may need to redirect because I assume from 2 to 7, her income has been pretty limited. Yeah. She probably hadn't worked a lot. So I'm guessing that it's you
mainly
that's going and buying all of this stuff and turning her room into a shrine.
Right. Mainly, but we have everybody in my family does this now. People out of state bring stuff when they come on vacation for her now.
Okay, but you're the gatekeeper.
Yes.
You're either buying it and giving it to her, or you're letting people flood the house with it and give it to her. And if you want to change that, then you have to start putting the brakes on that.
Oh, my husband's putting his foot down. He's really trying really hard to.
Well, but you guys have to be unified about that. And as I say, you don't punish, you start redirecting. And stop buying it all the time. Quit buying it. There's a real great word in parenting. No. No. You're not going to get that. Because if you do, kids can get into it. Again, to me, this doesn't sound like an obsession. It sounds like a hobby. It sounds like an escape for her, and that's okay. But it's getting kind of intense, so it's time to start redirecting and move on to some other things. Start introducing her some other things, some other heroes, some other people that she can emulate, whether it's in academics or sports or church or wherever it may be, and she'll find her way. And trust me, the changes that are coming in her soon as she starts approaching puberty and all that, I think old Elvis is probably going to be in the closet before long. So I wouldn't worry about it, but I would start redirecting her.
Oh, that's good. We just spent 2 hours this morning walking down Hollywood Boulevard looking for the Elvis star, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, that gives you 2 hours back in your life. All right, up next, Vivica A. Fox tells me about her secret obsession. Plus, later, you're going to see a known as big reveal. 3.5 feet cut off after 17 years. Will she do it? Or is she back there choking and trying to put that hair back on? We'll be right back.
Y'all got some funny kind of toilet paper here.
We can't deal with this toilet paper.
Tell me about it.
You know what I mean? It's rough.
Yes,
Right?
you know, it's an
Right.
environmental thing. She's doing it for the environment. Well, what can I do?
Okay, well, can you do us a favor? Can we get some soft toilet paper?
The
baby's behind.
All right. Okay. All right. You want soft paper?
Yes.
Oh, yes. No doubt. I'll get you your soft toilet paper
Okay, cool. Okay.
under one condition. I want access to the toilet.
All right. That was Vivica A. Fox in HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now, Vivica has a new show on VH1 called Glam God. This reality show combines all three of Vivica's favorite obsessions: hair, makeup, and wardrobe. But she says she has one more. So, do you have an obsession?
Shoes.
Shoes? All right. Now, how many pair of shoes do you have?
About 500 too. But I give some away when they get played out.
Okay. Now, that was half a sentence. You said about 500 to...
Well, if you include the boots, probably about 650.
650 pairs of shoes?
I have 3 closets, and they're all full with shoes. But you guys, I have to go to a lot of events. I do, and sometimes I supply my wardrobe for my movies and my television shows, and sometimes you can't wear the same thing twice.
Of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
Of course not. Now, you have a lot of shoes, but you don't have 650 pairs of shoes, do you?
No, I don't. I do love shoes, and I wish I had that many, but no, I don't.
You wish you had that many.
I wish I had the room for that many.
See, what is the deal with this? Because, guys, I promise you, you want some black shoes,
right.
You want some brown shoes,
right.
You want some tennis shoes.
Right.
And then you're done.
Right.
And I got some golf shoes.
But shoes can start a whole conversation. I'm telling you, you can be like an icebreaker. You know, you can be sitting somewhere and you walk in with a good pair of shoes on, like, oh, baby, where you get those shoes at? Next thing you know, you and her are best friends.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
trying to
said
tell
her.
you.
I've never had anybody come up to me and say, hey, Doc, where'd you get them shoes?
It's true. They come up and ask you other things, I'm sure.
No, but I do notice Robin's shoes because I pay attention and I learn.
Oh, and she's got some fabulous ones on today.
Oh, you do?
I love those. Those are beautiful.
Can you tell something about those shoes from here?
Are those Alexander McQueen?
No, they're YSL.
YSL's good, yeah. I tell you that they're
And you know what
costly.
that means?
Yes, that's Yves Saint Laurent, yes.
Oh, so that's code for...
Yes, YSL,
Okay.
like Dolce & Gabbana's D&G.
All right, now y'all tell me if this is a lie here, but how much does a flashy pair of women's shoes cost?
These were $1,300, those are $7. Oh, you didn't know? I tell you what, though.
Now, hold on.
Okay.
You ain't telling me nothing. You paid $1,300 for those shoes?
Yeah.
You ain't got a brain in your head.
Oh, yes, I do.
You paid
know how much
$1,300
brain I've got in my head? I've got 2 pairs. I've got a pink one, too. Some pink ones.
No. Do people pay that much for shoes?
Sure, see? Girlfriend right there does. Yeah.
Do you pay that much for shoes?
Do you?
No, I'm talking to you.
Me, no.
Oh, really?
You know, one...
Excuse me, hairball. All right, so what do you not have that you want?
Oh, probably children. That will be
Children?
next, yes.
Well, you need a man for that. So are you in the market? I'm not making you an offer. I'm just curious.
Well, you know, because, Dr. Phil, I want to find a man that's equally yoked. I've been married before, and I just think that now in my life, I need to find someone that could deal with my career, how much I work, you know, and the sacrifices that I have to make. Now, of course, I'd love to have a husband, but I'm up for adopting a baby. I believe there's a lot of children out there that need love and, you know, who are in foster care system that, you know, I can make a good mom. I make a great auntie. I take them by the best shoes.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet. And ruin them forever when they get home.
I start them on starter kits.
So when you do Glam Gods on VH1,
Yes.
we're talking about this kind of bling. You're talking about really hooking people up and getting them right.
Well, Glam God is all about celebrity A-list event styling for celebrity when they go on the red carpet.
Right.
So, you know, when you go on the red carpet, you've gotten anywhere on about $100,000 worth of jewels, you know, the dress. So it's styling for celebrity red carpet events. And these stylists, they're wanting the opportunity and the exposure of a lifetime. They're competing for $100,000, the title of Glam God, and a styling agent.
So they're gonna win $100 grand.
$100 grand. You want to sign up?
Plus get a big rep. No, hell no. Hell no. Well, is there anything left that you haven't done? I mean, major movies, television. I mean, is there anything you haven't done that you really have in your sights? This Glam Gods is a great thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Producer as well.
Yeah.
Probably in the future, direct.
Yeah.
You know, that would be wonderful for me. For right now, it just takes a little bit too much time when you direct because you have to live with the project for a little bit longer than what I'd like to. So maybe in the future, I'd like to direct. Because I'm producing now and starring in things, so I'm kind of in front of the camera as well as behind. I'm just glad I'm still here. I'm gonna keep it real.
Well, what's
Thank you.
What's the most fun role you've done out of all the roles that you played? What was do you have a favorite or something that you really had the most fun doing?
Well, oh gosh, can I name top 3?
Sure.
Okay, Independence Day was wonderful with Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a nice little niche movie. Didn't it make about $800 million?
$800 million, yeah.
See,
I mean, you know, when
things.
Will does it, he does it Big Willie style. So, you know, he opens big all the time. Two Can Play That Game. Yeah. That was my first starring role. And it taught girls about the tricks of relationships. And also, I would say Set It Off with Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith. And Kimberly Elise. Yeah. You know, that was the little movie that could, because it was a movie that we made for $9 million that a lot of people didn't think that they would take seriously, and people went to see it 2 and 3 times, and it's become like a cult classic.
Yeah, you and I know that there's a lot of work that goes on behind the camera to have those great roles, but they're still great to see them come to fruition and, pop out there.
I mean, people have no idea that when you do produce a film, how much work it goes in with the casting and the script and shooting it. I mean, when we were shooting Set It Off, we were filming in downtown Los Angeles at night. Yeah. So that made for quite an adventure, but we got it done.
Yeah, quite an adventure.
It was.
All right, well, coming up, she hasn't cut her hair in 17 years. We're going to reveal Anona's new look. Vivica's got it going on backstage. We're going to see what happens when we get back. Celebrity stylist Philip Block's client list includes huge stars like Halle Berry, Salma Hayek, Vivica A. Fox. Now, Philip convinced Anona it was time to throw away her T-shirt and jeans and get rid of that hair down to her rear end, which she's had for 17 years. Now, her husband Jeremy says he can't even imagine seeing her any different. So that's all you've ever known, right?
Yeah, since we've met.
Just that one look?
Just the long hair.
But fashion-wise as well as hair, because she's kind of static on the fashion front and the hair just keeps getting longer, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, okay. So let's take a look at Anona before. Do we have that? Okay, here she is before. And the good news is she's as cute as she could be. I mean, just like this. But here she is now. Come on out, Anona. First, before you say anything, what do you think?
That is awesome, Dr. Phil. Thank you.
That is great. You good? So, tell me what you think.
I love it.
You do?
I love it, yes.
So you're okay with it? You like it?
That's
yes.
Beautiful, Mom.
Now, you said before that you didn't ever want to look like a boy. I don't think anybody's going to confuse you with a boy with that haircut at all. So but you're good with it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah?
There you go.
Okay.
Do you see yourself right there? Well, that's the back of it. Look how beautifully it's layered. It looks great.
Okay, look over here. You see it in the front.
Yeah, right there.
Strange. Oh, wow. You look great. She said, oh,
so you hadn't seen it. You didn't mirror up on
not
this.
yet, no.
She was just going by the feeling.
Yeah, it felt so much better.
We layered it for
so
you.
So pretty and
this is really
healthy.
easy for you to maintain. The only thing you have to do is just put like big giant hot rollers in it, take it out, run your fingers through it. You're ready to go.
Volume.
Right, volume.
And
That's
listen,
all you
she's
gotta
telling
do.
you true because that's what I do.
Exactly, exactly.
Shake it out.
Yeah, shake it out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we really want to thank Vivica and Philip, and you can catch Glam God on VH1. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank all of my guests today, and thanks to reborn artist Judy Plant for loaning us one of her reborn babies. It was fun to watch people react to that. I want to say thank you to Macy's and BlueFly.com for Anona's new look. Now, whatever you think about an obsession you might have, as long as it's not disruptive to your life, it brings you peace, calmness, joy, then there's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to have those definitions that we went through on the show on drphil.com so you can look at them. I think pretty much everybody we talked about today is pretty much hobby. And it only becomes an obsession when it really crowds things out of your mind. But I thought we had a good discussion about it. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next time.